Morning, guys. How's it going? Bill here. Monday motivation message. Starting a little early today. Got a lot of stuff to do this morning. It seems that the old canary in the mine shaft, the ice cream, isn't freezing anymore in the freezer. So I get to go look for a new freezer this morning. Well, a new fridge freezer. So probably be heading out really soon to avoid all the shopping madness that I'm predicting. I predict that there's going to be a little bit of shopping since the quarantine's getting lifted in restriction a little bit today. So I want to hit the shop before madness starts. Got a difficult message today talking about living with guilt. Are you living or are you not? When I say that, is guilt's really hard to deal with, and I'm dealing with it. I talked to a uh, warrior last week, about living with guilt, and it's something that I've struggled with in the past, and I still struggle with it today. I deal with it daily. You know, guilt affects each and every one of us in a different way, and there's different types of guilt. So I'm not a doctor. I can't really dig into this, but I did I got my own personal feelings on it, and I went, of course, I went and did a Google search. So I wrote down a little bit, but I mainly highlighted. But we don't delve into this, dive into it. You know, what is guilt? Let's define guilt. What is that? Is it feeling responsible or regretful for a perceived offense, real or imaginary? And it can be part of the grief reaction. There's another one that says guilt's an incredibly powerful emotion and wide range of things to feel guilty about. Whether you're guilty of eating the last piece of pizza or stealing a candy bar, or in my case, I got survivor's guilt. You um, it's a unique from feeling sad or upset. It combines feelings of shame, anxiety, frustration, humiliation, and those emotions can well up inside and build over time, especially if you never admit to yourselves that you are at fault, and can majorly affect our sense of self worth and self esteem. Wow. All right. Uh, it also says that it's hard to predict, and it's elusive. Some feel it more stronger than others. Uh, it, it's common. Feeling guilty is common. You know, um, if you have any of the pre-existing issues, such as anxiety, depression, OCD, or PTSD. The origin can be anything, but uh, it's much more common than you think about it. All right, so let's dig into how Phil feel about guilt. Uh, I spent 20 years in Army infantry, and I've had some experiences, whether it was in combat or peacekeeping, good or bad, personal and indirect experiences. You know, uh, guilt. Guilt's kind of rough to deal with. Morning, Justin. How you doing, brother? It's good to see you on the camera. Thanks for watching. Uh, I got a lot of different feelings of guilt, but it doesn't serve me, and I'm working through it. And it's okay to be feeling it and working through it at the same time. So, like, if we dig into it, Why did somebody else die and I'm left here? You know, I don't want to get all personal with it, but I experienced that feeling, you know, and they say, oh, it's just survivor's guilt. You know, it'll go away the sooner you deal with it. And I got to tell you, it's hard. It's hard to deal with, and you know, it makes you. Here it says it makes you feel down or depressed. You don't sleep well or lose your appetite. I haven't lost my appetite. I don't sleep well though. I have problems with relationships. You have problems at work, school, at home, where you struggle to control your symptoms. You know, uh, straight up on point. You know, it's an emergency if you're having suicidal thoughts. Seek emergency help. You know, call 911, call a doctor, call your best friend, call your parents, or if you're hurting yourself, you know, that's an emergency. All right. So if you're struggling with this and having suicidal thoughts or thoughts of hurting yourself, seek immediate help. Okay. Um, here's the good thing about it though. You know, it's like we get this feeling of guilt, we get this depression, we get this sense of loss, we get this sense of hurt, and this guilt builds up on us, and we can't sleep. We overeat, we overdrink, we use all these different coping mechanisms that are unhealthy. Alcohol, um, you know, if you sat through any kind of safety briefing, whether in the army or school or college, alcohol is a depressant. This will make it worse. All right. It feels like it's numbing the pain, but it's not. So it's gonna make it worse. So don't count on that. Uh, what you should do, or what I have done. I'm sorry, I can't give advice. I'm not a doctor, right? Uh, you got to write down why you feel guilty. You have to look it in the face and be like, you know, get you a sheet of paper and a pen in a nice quiet spot. It's your roll of towels if you got to cry, you know, um, and write down what is it, whether it's real or perceived or what is it that's making you feel this way? What's making you feel guilty? Go ahead and write that down. All right. So I got the survivor's guilt. I got a lot of survivor's guilt. You know, why am I still here while this dude died? Why am I still here while these guys got whacked? Why? What do I why do I deserve to still be here? You know. So that's my guilt. Like, I should have seen the IED. I should have known that ambush was coming. I should have. It's all in the past, and it's not my fault. It's not your fault. And if it's in the past, you can't go back and change it. Regardless, no matter how bad it was, if it was your fault, if it wasn't your fault, you can't go and change it. So how does it serve you now? So if I take those feelings of guilt and I write them down, and I'm like, I got survivor's guilt because this guy died, this guy died, this guy died, and I'm still alive. And I write that down. How does that make me feel? It makes me feel like shit. It makes me feel depressed. I lose sleep over it. I want to self-medicate with tons of beer and alcohol, whiskey, like for reals. I did it for years and years and years. I've done that. It didn't help. once you get it written down, you got to practice on how is it serving you now? What is it doing for you in your life now? How should I flip this and look at it? Well, it's pretty crazy to think about that I'm here for a reason. I got a purpose. I got a purpose that I didn't die. There's a reason that I'm here right now. Is it to do these motivational Monday messages? Is it to interact with people in everyday life? Is it to raise these 4 teenagers in the house? Is it, I'm destined for greatness, right? And probably the deepest thing here, probably the most helpful, is that, like, I've already been forgiven. I do have a purpose in this life. You got a purpose in this life. There's a reason that happened to us. I don't know the reason. I can't even begin to think about the reason, but I can fall back on my little warrior ethos dog tag, right? I always place the mission first. Right now, my mission is staying alive. I will never accept defeat. There ain't nothing out there that's going to beat me down. Nothing. Nothing. I will never accept defeat. I will never quit. And I will never leave a fallen comrade. It's not my fault that they're a fallen comrade. And I'm sure as hell not leaving them. It's just that guilt, that hurt, the anger, the shame. It doesn't serve me. It's not serving me in life right now. It'll take a bright, sunshiny day and throw shade all over it. Over something I can't control. Over something I could not control. Take each day and cherish it. You're here for a purpose. You're here for a reason. God put us here for a reason. He put us in this situation. And Jesus has already died for our sins. We've been forgiven. Key point, take away from this today. Might not seem like a motivational speech, right? We're going to be all right. This too shall pass. Identify that guilt. Write it down. Recognize it for what it is. Forgive yourself. You've already been forgiven from higher. Forgive yourself and live. That's all I got today, guys. Wish me luck on my fridge hunt. Runny ice cream does not serve me well. And especially if it's the keto stuff. If y'all haven't tried the keto ice cream, don't. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. Stay in touch. I'm always here if y'all need to talk. All right. Phil's out. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.